In this video, we're going to talk about using environment slides to work with very large objects like building scans or architectural models. So I'm going to start this in one of our example documents. This is the public models example document. I'm going to skip through to slide 5, where we have a architectural model. On this slide, obviously, this object is quite small, but in this video, I'm going to do some editing to make the model much bigger, kind of one-to-one scale, and then show how you can move your meeting around to different points in the model. So I'm going to go through to the editor. Now, as you can see, I've got the content guide on. That's this sort of white avatar, and this content guide. I'm using the content guide, which is the tabletop one, so that guide is kind of at waist height and roughly the size of a table. You can see the architectural model just kind of sits on that. I made a duplicate of this slide and I've just got rid of those notes. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab the object, I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to set it to just much bigger. So I'm going to kind of guess a number. Don't need to be precise in this demo, but in reality you might want to get your model precisely right. So I'm just going to make it 70 scale, much bigger. Zoom right out and just lift that up until my content guide guy's feet are just on the floor. To there. Maybe let's be a tiny bit more precise than that. Okay. And then I'm going to turn the content guide off now. I don't think we need that. And then what I'm going to do is switch this slide to an environment mode slide. Do that by right-clicking, going slide type, environment. And as you can see, what I get is a start point. And this indicates where your users will start when you navigate to this slide. So you start on slide 5, when you navigate to slide 6, your users will start there in the environment. Now initially the start point is just the same place as the base normally is in a slide, but in an environment type slide we can move that start position. So I'm going to start out by moving that start position to be somewhere over here and kind of looking over towards this cluster of buildings here. So I'm going to go to edit, and we zoom in and we get a kind of new content guide which shows a party of users and the orientation that they're looking in. So initially they're looking straight forward at this kind of boring object over here. So I'm just going to whiz them down this side and rotate them around by 90 degrees like that. Now I'm going to use this handy button zoom to user viewpoint, which lets me see what they'll see. So we've got it nearly right, but we've got this lamppost in the way, so I'm just going to move them again a little bit forward. Let's zoom to viewpoint again, and that looks a bit better. So I'll go OK there, and then I'm going to make a second slide, so I'm just going to go over here and duplicate that. I'm going to move the start point again, and this time I think I'll take them over to this end of the parking lot and spin them round to this to look up at that building there. You zoom to viewpoint again. Now that's good. Okay, now obviously in a single document you can mix and match environment mode slides with normal mode slides. So at this point what I might actually do is duplicate this again and drag that down. So now we have a normal slide here, which is very small with some sticky notes, and then we have 2 environment mode slides where the environment is very big, and then back into normal mode again, and then back into environment mode again. And on this third environment mode slide I'm going to be a little more drastic and move the users all the way up to the top of this building here, just to show that you don't always have to be at floor level. We can put our users anywhere we want to in this environment. So if I chuck them up on this rooftop here, spin them around a bit so they're looking out over that balcony. Then once I'm done with that, I can get this bird's eye view and just flick through my slides. So we've got a very small model there, 2 environment mode slides with different start points, back to normal mode, and then back to environment mode up on the roof there. Okay, so now I've edited my document. I can actually come out of edit mode to get a sense of what this is all going to feel like. So if I go back to slide 5, which is a normal mode slide, exit, I'm not actually going to lose these changes because I'll still be in a meeting. If I reset the view, you can see we're back at a room scale look at the building, and then I'll flip through my slides and you'll see we'll do a nice transition, and it will feel like I'm moving through the environment of this very large model, and I can go from 6 to 7, and then on 8 I'll go back to normal mode, that bird's eye view, and then up onto the balcony.